Good morning, lovely people. How are you all today? I hope you're well. So I'm coming to you now after our heatwave is finished. We're supposed to have all these storms at the weekend. I was going to break it, going to cool down. Oh my goodness, it's so hot today. Oh, look, so lordy. It's nowhere near as hot as it was last week. I mean, that was just crazy hot. But it's pretty warm out there. Blazing sun, hardly any cloud cover. It's humid too. Not sure how much I'll get done today, but I'm certainly going to get stuck in. Because over the weekend we were due that 48 hours of rain. I was a bit cynical about it. Quite right. We didn't have 48 hours of rain. We did, though, have sort of on and off quite heavy showers, sort of starting in the early hours of Saturday morning, then all through Saturday. I can't tell you what a joy it was to wake up. I don't know, it must have been about 4 in the morning to the sound of rain. I had a bit of a Jeanne de Florette moment. I woke up and I was like, oh, il pleut, oh, wonderful. So, excuse me, I've literally just arrived, so I haven't had a proper look at the ground, at the soil yet, to see how much of that rain, that moisture, it has retained. I'm sure it will have done in a lot of places because, of course, at this time of year there's so much foliage everywhere. That's helping to stop the evaporation from the soil. The other thing I'm expecting today is, now that we've had all that warmth, then all that rain, and we're still really warm, is that'll have been a big spurt of growth for lots of things. So my first job of the day, I'm going to be out with my string and scissors, because I think a lot of my climbing squash will need some more tying in. My tomatoes, no doubt, will need some tying in and pinching out. What else is going on today? I feel really, we're coming to the end of July. It has been such a busy month, making time for folk, but then in between those times trying to play catch up all the time. So yeah, July has been a month full of very, very long days, ridiculously long days, and it is starting to catch up with me a bit. Plus, like I said, it's pretty hot today. So yeah, I'm just going to go slowly and see what I can get done. Ah, yes, main job for today, lift the white onions. Sorry, excuse me, morning voice again. My intention had been to lift them last week, before that rain, but it was just too hot, absolutely way too hot. Actually, just on that note of the heat, I know a lot of people have been expressing concern for me. Thank you so much. I'll just say that, if I'm in the garden for 4 hours, maybe over that time I will only be filming for sort of 30 or 40 minutes. So I do, when I'm not filming, I wear prescription sunglasses to look after my eyes. I do plonk a hat on. I hate wearing a hat in the heat because it just makes my head feel so much hotter, but I do. I also, when it's really, really hot, I've got a tea towel in the shed, and where we've got our dip tanks, our water dip tanks, where the inflow comes in, it's really quite cold because it's mains water. So I put my tea towel in that, get it soaked, wring it out a bit, just drape it around my shoulders. There was one day I was wearing it around my forehead, a la Rafa Nadal. So yes, I do look after myself in the sun. Of course, I always have lashings of sun cream on. More than that, I am sensible. I recognise when it's just too hot for me and I retreat. Or it's not so much that I retreat, I just don't do anything too physical with too much exertion. I take it nice and slowly. Anyway, yes, so I didn't lift the onions, so that's going to be one of my jobs today, because they will be they're probably going to be a little bit damp from that rain over the weekend, but apparently we're now going to get more rain this week, so I thought, yeah, I'll just get them lifted. And besides, I need to start planting my winter garden, so they need to come out to make space for my winter veggies. Hopefully get that done today too. Slowly. Right then, I think, yeah, the first job of the day, I'm going to have a wander around, see what needs tying in, see where I've got new growth. Oh, and the other thing I will be doing this morning, where have I got, oh, I've just put my kit outside for it, where I've got that beautiful, beautiful tree lily right at the top of my plot. I'm well aware, and I have been for years, that lilies are poisonous to cats. And of course, the very, very last thing I would ever want to do is hurt any animal. So as the buds open, I might take a quick picture of it, film it, but then I always snip out the innards, as it were, because it's the pollen that is bad for the cats. So generally what I'll do is, most days, every day that I'm down here, which is almost most days of the week if I'm watering as well, I'll just make sure I snip those centres out. And I'll just always have a little check on the ground too, especially after we've had rain and they may have had a battering. If it's taken any and put them on the floor, whisk them all up straight away so that they're not a danger to the cats. And the fact that I've had that tree lily for, I think, about 5 years now, and the cats are perfectly well and healthy, I think it shows I'm doing the right thing. Right then, it's time to brave this heat. It's a beautifully bright day. There's a stiff breeze. Oh, there's a massive aeroplane. Come on, let's go and do some gardening. You know what? It never ceases to amaze me just how much things grow at this time of year. Every year I sort of say to myself, remember this, Vivi, remember this for next year, when at the beginning of July you're worried about things and not getting going, and they do. So yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit more tying of the cucumbers. For the most part, they have found the frame and they're clinging on with their little tendrils, but in some cases, not quite. This one, can you see me? This one is growing into the lily. That's fine because I don't cut the lily stalks down. Oh, November it'll be. So, and I think some of this lot has gone sideways instead of up. So yeah, I'll have a little untangle of it. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? I think, whoop-la, standing in my trug. Barely, 6 weeks ago, I planted, these are my replacements, I planted plants which were 6-8 inches tall maybe, and look at them now. I'm 5'10", it's nearly up to the top of me, but actually where it's got that bit of slope, if it was going straight up it probably would be 5'10". So note to self for next year, don't panic at the beginning of July. Do you know, I think part of it is that there's a few other sort of plot holders around me that buy plug plants from nurseries. Are we going to have a busy aeroplane day again? Yeah, and I think where people have bought plants... Hold on a minute. What I was trying to say was, I think sometimes where people have bought plants, that they've obviously got a head start, because, you know, being raised in a nursery. So when I look at them, of course my plants are going to be much, much smaller. They're either started on the windowsill at home or down here in the cold frame. They've got a much, much tougher start. Or, you know, in many cases where I've sown things direct, of course they're going to be slower than plug plants. So I suppose the point is, and I'm trying to say it to myself, don't Don't despair each year. Don't look at, I've just seen my first couple of cukes, I'll show you in a second, yeah. Don't despair for my own plot each year. Don't be too concerned with how everyone else's plants are going. I know we can't help it, it's human nature, isn't it? We look at each other's plots. Just have a little bit of faith in your own. I'm sure, I need to do some weaving and winding, I'll do that in a minute. I'm sure that's considerably more difficult if it's your very first year growing, because you've got nothing to compare it with. But yeah, I should know better. This being my, oh gosh, is it my 6th year? Where did I see it? Oh, you're a big beauty. Oh, I'm just going to twist this one off. There are 2 or 3 by the looks of it, but the others are a fair bit smaller, so I'll leave them for now. But oh, isn't that gorgeous? I'm blocking the sunshine, aren't I? Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So half of that in a smoothie, the other half for salad. The only thing is, I don't think I've got any ripe tomatoes yet. I'll go and have a look. Oh, and I'm noticing my little baby peppers forming. Let me show you the little baby peppers. I think we may end up with a few shadow issues this morning because the sun's so bright, but that's a little one forming. Can you see? Oh, can you see in there? Oh, I'm putting it into shadow there. So most of these plants should give me 2 or 3. Oh, that's a nice one under there. Yay. But look, if they only, oh look, a little cluster. Oh, they're so tiny. There's 3 on that one. 1, 2, 3. It's really hard to see, isn't it, because of the brightness of the light. But that's going to be gorgeous. You can eat these green. They are quite bitter though, green. So I do like to leave them to get orange. But I just want to bring you back around the back of the cuke frame so you can see what I see when I come down here. So I do quite often have to move a bit of foliage, but whoa, that one, I think that one will be tomorrow's picking. That's a good size. Nice one forming there. Oh, 2 more here. Can I get you in there? There's 1, 2. Oh, I think that might be tomorrow as well. I'm more than happy to eat 2 a day though. Yeah, any more in here? Any more for any more? No, I mean I can see loads of little fruits forming, but it looks like for now they're my first pickable ones. Oh, yum scrum diddly yum. So I'll just say again, this variety is called Long Green Maracha. Sorry, crinkle, and it is specifically for growing outdoors. So if you don't have a greenhouse, don't despair. You can still grow cucumbers. I don't find these at all bitter. I think some people, let's just tiptoe out a sec. Some people may find the skin a little bit tough in comparison with what you might be used to buying in the shops. I don't find it to be too tough, but you may, and if you do, you just peel it or peel some of it until you get used to it. And I'm just looking, one of my other jobs this morning will be there, a bit further along the path, where some of the squash are escaping from this bed, is to just train them back. I mean, look, you can see it's all starting to really go bonkers now. The squash love the heat, but you combine heat with then getting a load of rain too. It's going to, oh my goodness, it's going to like the, look at the size of that one already. Oh, you beauty, and more babies forming. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think because of how the weather has been so far, I think it's going to be a good year for the squash. How is this year going to be for the tomatoes? Let's just go and have a quick look, see if we've got any getting ready to get ripe. Oh, that slug trap did a good job the other day. It's chock-a-block full. Ah yeah, nowhere near ripe. Nowhere near ripe, but beautiful fruits forming. I just hope, actually I've got so many flowers on the cucumbers, I'm sure I'll still have cucumbers by the time I get ripe tomatoes. Oh, I really need to get into these tomatoes and give them some cares. I'll show you that in a second. Let's just finish off in the cukes first. Now in terms of my tomato cares, by this time of the summer, I just get very much into a routine. Tie in, support any new growth, done. Nip outside shoots, done. But also, and I'm a little bit tardy on this just because July's been so crazy bonkers hectic. At this stage, I'm going to remove all the leaves that are below the bottom truss. So I'm finding my bottom bit of fruit, which on this one is, you're not going to be able to see that, are you? Sorry. It's way down here. All these leaves below, I'm going to remove. I don't want the plant putting any energy into those leaves whatsoever. No point, not going to do anything. And then coming up the plant, at this stage I'll also chop most of the those leaves in half, remove about half the leaf. Obviously it needs the leaves to photosynthesize, but by removing half the leaf like that, oh there we go, just take half of it, it just helps to increase air circulation. So when they do get wet from a shower, hopefully they dry off more quickly because the air's moving around. The bottom ones, well, like I said, I don't want the plant putting any energy into these bottom ones, they don't need them. But also, whether it's watering, whether it's watering from the watering can or watering from the rain, as the rain's hitting the ground, I don't want it to splash up, or if the leaves actually touching the ground, sitting on moist ground, there shouldn't be too much sort of splash up of wet soil, because I've got these so well mulched with the grass clippings. But even so, it's all just part of that kind of blight hygiene. We'll do anything we can. Also, I'm really behind on doing my aspirin spray, which I was mentioning, a couple of weeks ago now, I think, wasn't it? Ideally, I would like to do it once a week. I've done it once this year so far, but we're getting into that time of, I mean, this is perfect blight weather, where we are consistently warm, but we're getting quite a lot of dampness. Obviously until now we haven't had huge amounts of rain, but we've had that dumping over the weekend. We are due for another, I think 3 or 4 days this week where we'll get rain. Not a huge amount of rain. Blight doesn't need a huge amount of rain, it just likes a bit of damp in the air. So yes, I will continue with this. It'll probably take me a goodly half hour, if not longer, to attend to all my tomatoes, but I don't mind. Tomato time is, it's one of the great pleasures in the garden for me. I know I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again a gazillion times. The scent as I'm working with them, it evokes such strong memories, beautiful, wonderful memories. We know, it's very well researched how scent can really strongly provoke memories, and there's nothing quite as distinct as the smell of tomatoes, is there? It just sends me right back to my grandparents' garden. As I'm doing it, I can see my granddad so clearly. Oh, You know, we all still miss him so much, but for me, I think when I'm with my tomatoes, I'm with my granddad. I'm going to get upset now. Oh, silly Billy. I know there's, oh my goodness. I know for so many of us that time in the garden is really precious, because our time in the garden it's almost like time with those lost loved ones. So, yeah. Talk to your loved ones as you're talking to your tomatoes, and don't be embarrassed if a few tears come. It's just a sign that you really, really loved them. Right, I'm going to go now because I need to have a jolly good cry, but a nice cry. Anyway, yeah, let me get the tomatoes done, and then we'll see what else needs doing. Oh my goodness me. I'm starting to feel like, is it Dr. Livingstone or is it Stanley? I can't remember which one of them got lost and had to be found. I think it was it Livingstone that got lost? Dr. Livingstone, I presume. Anyway, the point is, all my plans for today, hopefully I'll still get through some of them, but my goodness, there's so much tying in to do today. That, the rain, the heat, everything has gone bonkers. And do you know what's really, really lovely? Oh, it's been so lovely all morning. Various friends and neighbours have been down. Quite a few people have been away from the plots because they've had trips, what have you, holidays. Some folk like me have only been away a couple of days just because of the rain. But all around me on this site all morning, I've just been hearing these little squeals of delight as folk are moving back foliage and finding veggies forming. Most notably, people are finding their squash. I love it. It's one of the joys of growing squash, isn't it? All this foliage. And then in the autumn, as the foliage dies back, these beautiful treasures are revealed. But yeah, this is all taking me longer than this morning than I anticipated. There are some plants like the cream of the crop here. I'll show you in a sec. Oh, gorgeous fruit. I have to show you this. Where I thought I was buying a trading variety that I would train, but there hasn't been one clear sort of lead shoot, as it were. So some of it is going up, but the rest of it is just spreading. So yes, that's fine. It just means it's getting to be a bit of a jungle in here. It's so exciting, isn't it? Let me show you this beautiful one. It's yes, this is cream of the crop. Let me give you a look. I don't know if you get a sense of it properly on camera, just how sort of dense all this foliage has become. But this one here, this is the cream of the crop. And I'll show you. So for example, this one, yes, that is climbing. But then if we look here, I looked this morning and I thought, oh, sorry, that is a definite leader. Oh, maybe I can train it. But then, oh, it's really prickly, this one. But then as I go down, I mean, it's just such a mishmash of lots and lots of stalks. I mean, I might be able to bring this one up a bit, but to be honest, it seems to know what it wants to do, and I'm going to leave it to it. But this was the fruit I just spotted. Isn't that a beauty in there? Such a pale creamy flesh. Gorgeous. I've no idea how it's going to taste, but I'm not half looking forward to tasting it. Yum, yum, yum. The other thing I need to start thinking about, just coming over here, this is the Violina. Gorgeous. And look, I have lost a couple of fruits. Oh, so much foliage. I have lost a couple. That seems to almost always happen. There's a nice one forming there though. Yeah, what I will have to think about soon is that for any of the squash that are forming higher up, I might need to start thinking about giving them supports soon by way of, oh, the perfect example is over here with the scorching du berry. You see this one, big one hanging down. Now, last year I didn't have to support any of them, really. They all managed to sort of find bits of branch to sit on and what have you. They can get quite big, so I'll keep an eye on them, and if they are getting really quite big, rather than risk them snapping off, two more beauties in there, look, 1, 2, yeah, rather than risk having them snap off, what I'll do is I'll make a little macrame hanging support thing for them. Oh, and another one down, right down there, you're not going to be able to see from here, never mind. Right, so, sorry, putting you right into the sun now, but yes, here's another little leader that needs tying up. Oh my goodness, now that's getting on for 7 feet now. Yeah, I need to carry on getting all of these things tied up and looked after. Where are you coming from and going to? I can't work you out. Some of them it seems like they're growing down, but they can't grow down, they must be growing up. Anyway, yes, let me get all of this lot sorted. And then the other jobs that I was planning to do this morning, they might have to just shift into the afternoon. It is obviously worth my while to look after all these beautiful babies because it's my food. This is the, oh yes, this is the delicata. There we go, lovely. That I think is the lead. Yes, so I can bring that up and get that trained. And then I wonder if the other two, oh yeah, the other two are getting going a bit too. Yes, they're going to need tying in as well. Oh, and I'll show you the loofah just while we're here. Whoa, look at the chard's gone mad. You wouldn't believe I've been harvesting, would you? Look, it's like a field of chard to walk through. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vegetable. And it will keep going all winter. And it always delights me, especially when the sun is showing through it like that. Its colours, isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Oh, beautiful. Do you know what? If I had a flower border, I would grow this in my flower border because these colours are ridiculously audacious. Anyway, sidetracked. I was going to show you the loofah, which is now, oh, I would say it's about 3 feet tall on there. Not much by way of leafage, but it's climbing. Not really any signs of, oh, I was going to say no signs of flowers. And then I just noticed this one. Go on, do your work. Pollinate, pollinate. Beautiful. Isn't it a privilege to be able to stand in the garden and watch nature doing its thing? But yeah, that one's grown a little bit too, so I might give that one a tie-in. Still really not sure whether I'll get anything at all, but it's always fun to try, isn't it? Oh yeah, this one does a little cluster of flowers there. Are they on their way over or just coming? I'm not sure. I'll keep an eye on them. Right, I need to do some tying. Oh, it's getting hot. Beautiful breeze. Gosh, this morning disappeared quickly. That's it, the morning's over. Pretty much all I've done is attend to those first 2 beds of tying things in, sorting out the tomatoes. Got my tomato stoned fingers to show for it. Just a few other little bits and bobs. I haven't even started on the onions and stuff yet. Oh, it's warm. It's lovely. It's not like it was last week. I mean, it is still really, really quite warm today. What's the thermometer saying? Oh, 29. So I'm going to carry on, but I'm just going to go really, really slowly. One thing I have to do though is find my glasses. They're not in the shed. They're not on the table outside the shed. I think I've tucked them on my top when I was filming those bits of getting up close down with the squash, and I think they've just tipped out of my top. Yeah, they're definitely not in the shed. So, oh my goodness, I need to go and play hunt the glasses. Oh dear. Anyway, so I'm going to go and look for my glasses, and then all the stuff that I plan to do today, I'll do this afternoon. I'll put it in a separate video because honestly we'll be here for hours otherwise. So on that note, I'm going to say cheerio to all of you. I'm going to go and whistle, see if my glasses come to me. There may not even be another video made this afternoon because I may just spend the whole time looking for these pesky glasses. What a silly girl. I need one of those granny chains. No, I'm not going with the granny glasses chain just yet. So anyway, never mind. I need to go and hunt. So please take care of yourselves. I hope for most of you your temperatures have calmed down now. I know that a lot of you across Europe, Germany, Holland, France, you were having it really, really hot too. So I hope things have calmed down. I hope you're all getting the rain you need. I mean, look what the rain has done to my garden in just a weekend. It's amazing and wonderful. For those of you who've been having non-stop rain, well, I hope it stops and you get some sunshine. Basically, I hope you're all getting the kind of weather you'd really like to have. I will see you all again really soon. Well, I may not see you without my glasses. I'm not going to see anything. But no, hopefully I will see you all again really soon. So in the meantime, from me, the cats who are all hiding under bushes, my garden, we wish you a fond farewell and lots of love in your gardens. Bye for now.